Now that we reviewed the quality information, let's take a look at utilization data. We capture several different things here. Most importantly, length of stay, charges, and costs we capture in two different ways. For each metric, we have an average as well as a percentage of cases above the system average. So it's helpful you can see those metrics in two different ways. Additionally, we can capture denials information, avoidable days, but those are only if your hospital can send that data. Lastly, we capture average consultants used as well as cases above the CMS geometric mean length of stay. Let's take a look more specifically at average charges. You can see here this physician is in the red, so therefore he is greater than one standard deviation from the mean in terms of average charges. His average charges per case are about $27,000 compared to a system average of $24,000. Again, keep in mind the severity adjustment. This is for light cases. If you'd like to take a deeper look at these charges, click on categories. And what we can do here is actually break out those charge buckets to see which categories he's actually falling out in as an outlier. If you take a look here, he's in the red, or therefore an outlier, in the pharmacy and radiology category. I'd like to take a deeper look at the pharmacy, so let's take a look at the charge analysis. If you click on the analysis button, that'll take you directly to the charge analysis for the appropriate DRG this physician has treated in the pharmacy category. The boxes of severity levels are checked when you have cases in the category falling under one of those levels. Looking at the results, we'll review these from left to right. First, you'll see the CDM, or the charge code, and the description of the item. Next, the physician average items per case is the frequency with which this physician ordered this item per case, versus the system average items per case, which is the frequency with which physicians across the system treating light cases ordered this item per case. Similarly, the percentage of cases where this physician used this item is being compared to other physicians across the system using this item. So, for example, this very first item here, dantrolene sodium, this physician used this item 7.25 times per case, compared to other physicians across the system using it 0.02 times per case. If you take a look at this next column, this is really reflecting the standard deviations from the mean. Essentially, it's a gas gauge broken out into a flat bar. That white bar being the mean, and the arrow pointing to where this physician is over here. So he's quite a bit over on all of these items. You can see he's in the red on each one. Next, average physician charges is the cost incurred by the physician actually ordering this item for his or her cases versus what the costs being incurred by the other physicians across the system is. Then we take a look at the delta, which is really the opportunity here. So the delta is saying for this top one, $51,000 is the opportunity to save if this physician used dantrolene sodium 0.02 times per case versus 7.25. Again, the idea here is if the physician brought the performance back, the hospital would save that amount. Next, let's go back to utilization. So we have reviewed most of these metrics, but just quickly looking at some of these, it looks like this physician has opportunities in length of stay, charges, and costs. The denials information looks good for this physician, but there is certainly room to improve in terms of average consultants used and avoidable days. Next, the percentage of cases above the CMS geometric mean length of stay is 50%. So teetering on almost half there. And lastly, we can capture hospital versus ICU days if your hospital can send that information. On each of these metrics, you can always drill down to see details of the top 10 MSDRGs this physician treats in terms of volume and where the physician falls out in terms of that metric in those top 10 DRGs. And additionally, you can see regional and national benchmarks too to get an idea of the physician's performance not only compared to his or her hospital system, but also the state and national level. In addition to looking at a physician's quality and utilization information, Crimson can also be used for recredentialing purposes. On the Recredentialing tab, we have several metrics from other areas of the application identified as key to recredentialing by the organization. This tab places them all together in one place for the convenience of printing a report. If you click on the printer icon, you have the option to print the Recredentialing profile report. Additionally, if you click on, scratch that. The next tab is an additional module, and it's called the OPPE tab. Not all hospitals may have this, but it's designed to support the recent OPPE mandate by the Joint Commission. The next tab is designed to support the recent OPPE mandate by the Joint Commission. The next tab is designed to support the recent OPPE mandate by the Joint Commission. In addition to gathering quality and utilization information to report on, we can also capture information such as peer review results, test gaming scores, certifications, and internally mandated information. If you do not have this tab, please ask your dedicated advisor about this. This wraps up our web-based demo today. If you have additional questions, please feel free to contact your dedicated advisor at any time, or also we do offer teleconferences on a monthly basis for basic navigation and targeted uses of Crimson. Thanks for your time today.